The Concertgebouw Orchestra is famous for its sound, especially in the strings, but it's not just the players, it's the instruments that they play. And the person that's responsible for us getting all of those instruments is Hannah Phillips. Without a shadow of a doubt, she is the most loved person in the organisation. Hannah, welcome. Can you just tell us, what exactly is your job?
Wow. Well, officially, I work for the development department, which is fundraising for the orchestra. And I'm in charge of finding money from individuals.
Right.
And as part of it, it's also to help the orchestra and its musicians find beautiful instruments and get them funded.
So how does the process work? From day one, somebody wants to find an instrument to play on.
Well, usually they have a fair idea of what they're looking for. If not, it's a longer process. Sometimes people bring instruments over, sometimes people go on tour, they try things out. Then we need to listen to it in the hall with the instrument committee and some people in the orchestra, or to the 3 instruments of choice sometimes. Usually it's quite clear that there's one instrument that's the one.
It's funny, isn't it? Because certainly in my own experience, you know, I would bring in 2 or 3 amazing instruments, really of the highest top level, and some really work in the hall and others don't. And of course, it's all about whether it works in the hall or not.
Yes, and sometimes also the one actually playing the instrument is being told to step down from stage to listen in the hall.
Yeah.
You can hear what you probably don't hear when you play it.
So it's a very thorough process. Have you ever uncovered a fake?
We did recently find that something that was offered to us wasn't actually what it was, but the owner of the instrument was in good faith. He didn't know it himself, so it was a big disappointment.
And a drop in worth, no doubt?
Considerable drop in worth.
From
several millions, I guess, to, well, some below 100,000 euros.
Wow. In all the instruments that you've brought into the orchestra, what's the sort of the best moment?
Now, sometimes a really strange request comes. In this instance, it was, I think, the percussion group who wanted to have their own bells for the Symphonie Fantastique.
Bells?
Bells. Yeah, bells.
What, like,
you know,
little...
church bells, sort of upside down bells. And we were actually there when they were founded in the foundry. Yeah, that was amazing. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Now, the worst case scenario with an instrument is what?
Well, that it gets stolen or I mean, accidents do happen. I remember somebody with a double bass actually tripping over a Amsterdammertje, and it was broken. Yeah,
and there's nothing quite like the sound of a dropping instrument on concrete, and because everyone knows.
You probably know from experience.
I do know from experience, yeah. So the orchestra is separate from the foundation that you work for.
Yes.
So the orchestra doesn't own the instruments as such. In fact, you said to me that the foundation, when it comes to instruments, enables musicians to be able to buy a house instead of an instrument.
Exactly.
It's really because nowadays it's impossible to do both.
It's impossible,
actually.
Yeah. So whatever we can do to help the orchestra and to help our musicians to play at this wonderful level, that's all we can do.
And what else does the foundation do?
A big thing is the academy of the orchestra that they support.
And the academy is, just explain how the academy works.
Well, the academy is actually a wonderful experience for now 10 young talented musicians that have more or less finished their studies. They get training, and after a year they go out in the world, or if they're lucky, they audition here.
And they get a job here.
They get a job here.
And the rest of the things that the foundation help with, so the instruments, the academy...
Young, or
Concertgebouw Young, which is this new youth orchestra idea, which has had to put on hold, or they're doing it online at the moment.
Yeah, they're trying to do it online for now.
Right.
And, next year they will relaunch.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah. Well, Hannah, you are the facilitator of dreams for us musicians in the orchestra, and we cannot thank you enough.
Really happy to do that. Thanks.